as promised, I have Jenn and Kyle Bethune. And I know that they're going to correct me in the way I say it because I'm not saying it the right way. So when they come on, they're going to go, "Hey, New Yorker, you gotta tighten up your game." But I have them on. These are the folks who are responsible, and I feel strongly about this. They were responsible for bringing Gabby home as soon as they were shared that video that they took. So I thought it was very important, and it was very, very important to get the message out to anybody who is out there that has any information. As we say in the New York City Police Department, if you see something, say something. And Jenn and Kyle, they did that. And they did it with a little bit of help. They did it with a little bit of help from their son, Ethan, but they also did it with a help from some of the folks on social media. And social media as a crowdsourcing can be evil and can be really good. And I think in this case, it became very, very good. So I will introduce Jenn and her husband, Kyle. These are great, great people. I had the honor and privilege of meeting Jenn in person at Gabby's memorial service. And I also had the pleasure of speaking with her and her husband, but I spoke with her for about an hour yesterday. I chewed her ear off in typical New York Italian fashion. And I had just a chance just now to speak to her husband, Kyle. They're a wonderful, wonderful people. And I want everyone to really, I want to highlight what they did, and I want everyone to see it. So, and I just want to say to everybody, I went over and above, and I told Jenn yesterday I was stalking her channel. I really was. I was sending her messages, but then my wife said to me, "Ron, she's going to be over inundated with so many people calling and trying to reach out to her. She's not going to answer you." And I said, "You know what? You're right." So my wife kind of pulled the reins back on me. But listen, everybody wants to know. I mean, I know that you've told your story to the media, but we're here on the YouTube community. So with the YouTube community watching, I just would like if you guys can give just a brief overview what brought you to this and how it came about. I know the story is out there, but sometimes when folks hear it from you, you know, personally, the both of you, it's better than me retelling the story. So if you will, I'm going to put your full screen and you're just going to explain to these folks how this all came about.
We were actually not even supposed to be in the Grand Tetons that night. We had just left a hangout with a bunch of other families, and we were going to go a completely different route. But one of the other families said, "No, you've got to go to Spread Creek. You've got to go check out Spread Creek camping area." So we're like, all right, we fly by the seat of our pants anyway. So that's what we did. And so we happened upon the Spread Creek. Sorry, I always say it wrong. I'm so sorry.
That's what we teams are for. Husband and wife teams.
Yeah, right.
Each other. This is great.
It's what we do. So he has a GoPro, 2 GoPros. One records front facing and one records rear facing. And so what he does is he'll, turn them on, say his spiel, and then turn them off. Well, when we turned into Spread Creek, he said his little bitty spiel and then totally forgot to turn the GoPros off. And we're driving down the road, as you guys saw, and we see this white van. And I noticed, and Kyle noticed, that there's Florida plates on it. He was driving the bus. I was driving the Jeep behind. And at the same time, without even knowing, we were both thinking, oh my gosh, Florida plates, we've got to come back and say hi. We were going to stop, but the van looked pretty closed up. I mean, we assumed they were like out hiking. So as we're driving back down the road, in the raw footage that we posted, you can see there's a turnaround and then the footage stops. Well, that's because the batteries died at that point in the GoPro. And Kyle called me on the phone and he was like, "Did you see that van?" I was like, "Yeah." "Did you see that van?" I was like, "It had Florida plates." And he was like, let's stop back by if they're there, because it didn't look like they were there. I'm like, okay, cool. So as we're driving back by, this still looked pretty closed up, and it was getting late. At this point, it was like 6:15 in the evening. We have hungry kids. And so we ended up just pulling back into that gravel lot up front and just staying the night up there, and the next morning heading out on our way. Yeah, we actually ended up finding the footage on what would have been Ethan's 17th birthday. So we found this footage on his birthday. And the morning after, well, first I obviously sent it to the FBI, and then I sent it to the Gabby Petito page, and I sent it to Joe Petito, her dad, on Instagram. And the next day I get an email in the morning. Of course, we're being inundated with every news outlet in America calling us at this point.
And DutyRon.
And DutyRon, everybody. And I get an email from Nicole, Gabby's mom, and she asked if she could FaceTime me. And of course, I was like, absolutely. Yeah. And so, we FaceTime, and it's just, if you've never lost a child and been able to connect with another mom who has, it's like a safety net reaches out. You're falling from a building and a safety net reaches out and grabs you. I had those people for me. Like when I lost Ethan, that hug of a mom who's a bereaved mother meant the absolute world to me. And at this point, we still hadn't found Gabby, but just the fact that I could be there for her. We had a good mama cry together. We didn't discuss details. It was just more so letting her know that I'm here. I've got you. I'm the extrovert in this relationship. Like I'm the outgoing one. I love talking to people. Like give me people to talk to all day long. And so in reality, I would have been the one, if there was a spot that was open. The reason why we didn't stop is because there wasn't a spot around there that was open to camp. And so had there been a spot open, he would have probably started setting up the bus and getting dinner ready. And I would have been the one to walk down there and knock on the door. So, just looking back at that, I'm thankful that we didn't stop, because who knows what could have happened.
Yeah. Bill, I mean, you talked about this privately. We talked about it on our live streams. Again, crime knows no boundaries, as we see. It happened in the Grand Tetons. It can happen in Utah. It can happen in Florida. It happens everywhere. Crime knows no boundaries. So again, this is also a learned lesson that, it's not a bad thing to be nice to fellow mankind, right? And womankind, like you did. You went around and you spread those acts of kindness on Saturday and went around to people. You took out $200. You made yourself broke at the end of the day, but you did what made your heart feel good. Right. So that was the best $200 or whatever you spent, $160. I'm sure Kyle's like, honey, you just screwed our budget up here, for crying out loud. But,
he did. I came back and I told him the story of what happened. And he was like, you did what? And I was like, listen, I just felt like I need to bless people. Okay. It's $200. Who cares? So, but at the end of the day, it was $200 well spent.
I didn't even know that happened. I just guessed that's how it went down, because my wife would have did the same thing to me. See, my relationship with my wife is exact opposite. Like I'm the friendly person, and she's like, don't introduce me to anybody new. Don't bring anybody new to the house. Don't she'll jump behind the couch and hide if I bring a friend home. So my wife give me shit for it the whole rest of the weekend. Like, how dare you? My hair wasn't right. I didn't have my makeup right. You brought Sergeant Cannon over to the house and didn't tell me. So guys, it's the exact flip opposite of the relationship Kyle and Jenn have. Thank you.
DutyRon, thank you so much for inviting me today. And Jenn and Kyle, so great to meet you. I get all choked up because I think you guys, had you not been there, I don't think they would have found her for a long time. And you wouldn't think a real tough homicide sergeant would get all choked up. But I am, because God put you there to find her. And all I can say, and I said before, you're great American heroes, but you're not just American heroes, you're God's heroes. He put you there to do this. And I want to thank you for it, because, look, they needed to narrow down this search, and you were the guys that did that and narrow it down. 250 yards from the van, they found her, and we talk about all the technical things with homicide, the collection of evidence, the fact that the body had been there for 23 days. And who knows, if much more time had gone by, they may not have been able to collect the evidence as well as they did in the time that they got it, all because of you guys.
On behalf of the DutyRon channel, I'm going to donate $500 to the foundation for you guys, the Pay It Forward. And it's just a small way of my community. And this comes from all of the subscribers and the folks who contribute to Crime Time with DutyRon. As soon as I get off, I'm going to get the link from Jenn and Kyle. And I want to do that on behalf of the community here. And
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you guys for everything you do.